Hello, gaming fans, and welcome to Freelancer Radio, your home for all things Anthem. This is episode number 25. It's finally here. ... End Destiny. I'm Goose, your host for this week, and let's check in with the fellas. I have Justin with me. And we also have Marlon.
Oh, fellow. What's up, guys?
And Andrew.
It's so good. Every single time, man. I swear to God.
I love it.
Good, man. I swear to God.
I love it for two reasons. I love it because it fits in perfectly, and I love it because I don't have to edit that in. That's amazing. I love it. So It's finally dropped. What I said multiple times this morning, I was wrong. I admit it. What I said multiple times wasn't going to happen, finally did. The Cataclysm is here with game update 1.3.0, dropped today, August 6, 2019.
Yes.
And before we get into the notes, were you guys surprised about it dropping? What are your thoughts on it? Marlon, start us off.
No, I am not surprised they dropped it because they've been shadow dropping a lot of things lately. Starting with Apex Legends. So EA, I think for the most part, knew that they could not wait any longer for this. I feel like that BioWare realized that, we got to get this thing out now because we're not going to be able to compete with all the other publishers in September. And we know that we can give them, at least the fan base, a long time to enjoy this in August. So I feel like they made the right choice on that. So at least that's from my point of view, okay? I don't know what Justin feels about it or our quiet man over here feels about it.
This is what we pretty much discussed, I think, last week, where we said they needed to drop it before all the games are releasing for all these other...
Yes, Andrew, but do you feel like they should have done a little bit more pomp and circumstance, I guess you could say, with this?
They've been building it for a while now. I mean...
it needed to drop.
So it had to drop. It was now or never, pretty much. If they waited, I guess, after this holiday season, then people probably have moved on from Anthem for good. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Do you guys? I don't know, man. I'm genuinely surprised that it dropped. I wasn't expecting it to drop. I was expecting it to drop maybe towards September, but you guys made a good point in terms of, hey, they want to get in front of the holiday season and all the heavy hitters that are coming out. So from this point, it makes sense. Them shadow dropping it, for me personally, it makes me feel like they don't have confidence in it. I spoke about it on the Discord, but just going on precedent, I was like, man, it's a big update. It's an update that the Anthem fan base has been waiting for a while now. I figured that they would want to make like a slow rollout in terms of having maybe like a live stream or even like a minimal blog post, which they did, but like a more prolonged rollout in terms of advertising and sort of giving it attention via either social media or influencers to make sure that, hey, listen, this thing is coming out next week, you got to be on the lookout for it or something. So I was surprised of it in that sense. So we're going to cover just a little bit of what the blog post says, because the blog post is kind of meaty and long. So I'll just hop around with some of the things say. So some of the features, we have a new story mission, track Dr. Harkin and unravel the mystery of the Cataclysm, available to all players who have completed the incursion mission in the main storyline, which I believe is the last mission of the game. The Cataclysm itself, battle Vara Brahm and her forces in a dangerous new game mode that evolves over time. Teamwork is heavily encouraged as you battle against the dangerous environment and time itself. Unlock secrets, and master the Cataclysm to earn all new rewards and rank up the leaderboard. The Cataclysm is available on the start of expedition screen for all players who have completed the incursion mission. We also have Alliance system changes. We have a new system called Inversions, which changes the way your Javelin interact with the environment to various degrees. I don't know how this is going to work. They have things, let's see. Let me just continue reading. Ultimately, they should fundamentally change your experience within the Cataclysm and encourage some diversification to your playstyle. And they have a list of these inversions, such as Turbo Gear, which gear your recharge rate is increased. On the edge, at low armor, damage dealt increases. From the skies, it's another one. Heat buildup while hovering is decreased. Go ahead, Marlon.
It's just me.
Oh, sorry.
I would say it almost sounds like just modifiers, like kind of like Destiny Nightfall modifiers or Strike modifiers or something like that.
Is it?
Yeah, read some of them off again.
I'm sorry, Marlon. You're about to make me laugh. I thought it sounded like a baby.
I don't know how to feel about that, but I guess.
Wait, let me read some of these off. So, close encounters, shotguns, and machine pistols deal increased damage.
Yeah, modifiers.
Yeah.
That's a modifier. Yeah.
You're good. No more.
Never mind.
Well, go ahead, Marlon.
No, I was saying never mind. It's a modifier. It's
a modifier.
But let me ask you guys, and I'll try to bring Justin into this. Are you guys excited for this Cataclysm? Is this something that you guys are looking forward to? I'm looking at Marlon on the screen, and he's got like this reluctant look on his face. But like, is this something that is going to pull you back, or do you guys expect it to have the content to pull you back?
Honestly, if you ask me, I hope it has no content to pull me back. Because I got to go back and do a lot of grinding in Destiny, and I got to do all that Solstice armor stuff. So I don't need 2 games taking up my time in a very huge amount of ways. Here's the issue that I have with the Cataclysm. The fact that they shadow dropped this, as you were mentioning earlier, makes me feel like BioWare just said, you know what, we got to get this out of the door and ship it and pack it and just be done with it. If they would have done something like, do like I don't know, like an event on Mixer with a couple of streamers and stuff like that, do an event with Twitch and stuff like that. It advertises so that it's not just an event, but it's an awesome event that makes you want to play it and enjoy Anthem again. If they would have done something like that, it would have made me realize that they have faith in the game and they have faith in what the quality of what they are bringing into the game. So right now, without having experienced it, mind you, I have not gone and played it because I worked the whole day. But I'll give you more thoughts on this as the week rolls on in the Discord and on Twitter and on the next podcast, because for me right now it is too early to make a good review or expose on the Cataclysm.
For the listeners out there, Cataclysm dropped today, and we're not gonna lie. There were rumors out there. There were rampant rumors that it was gonna drop, but I'm pretty sure that I can speak for the whole team, or maybe I can't. I'll speak for myself only. We were caught flat-footed. We were not. At least I was not expecting this to drop. Originally, we had a oddly enough, because KJ is not hosting today. Originally, Goose had a Destiny podcast planned, and we're still going to go through with that, but we are touching on the Cataclysm briefly. But next week we're going to have a full dive into the Cataclysm, detailing our experiences with the event, with the game, detailing the new missions, hopefully detailing some of the new weapons and some of these inversions, for example, which is one of the new systems that they've introduced into Anthem with this update. I think it's safe to say that this is probably Anthem's biggest update. It was one that has been sorely needed. To answer my own question, I don't know whether it'll bring me back. It's something that I have been looking forward to. I have been waiting to play. I am very honest. All of us on the show are very honest when we say or don't say that we haven't been playing Anthem for a while. I think among us, KJ has been the one who's played it religiously, probably every day, or if not every other day. But a lot of us have checked out. I know I have. But Cataclysm will bring me back. I can say that it will bring me back. Will it keep me around? I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what do you mean by bring you back? Because when you say bring you back, I'm thinking Destiny terms, where it sucks me in and I'm grinding Solstice of Heroes armor for hours and days at a time. Like, that's what I mean by bringing back. Will I check out Anthem? Will Ronaldo Machaco check out Anthem? Yes, I will definitely jump in and play, a couple hours of the Cataclysm and look around.
I love that. Look around. He's like, see what's there.
Basically, what's going to happen is that Ronaldo Machaco is right now on a 1 week loan to Anthem from Destiny. Okay, the team realizes that he needs to grow his skills and just get better at playing it. And we will see after the 1 week loan if he wants to stay at the new camp up in Anthem or come back to the Bernabeu where he belongs.
Maybe Anthem has the right recipe and it'll tickle his booty hole just in the right spot and he's gonna love it and he's gonna stay playing Anthem and hopefully it'll tickle our collective booty holes and we'll like it and we'll stay too. But we'll see what happens with Anthem. We're just as fans of the game and folks who want it to succeed. I think it's safe to say I can speak for everybody when we say, hey, we're happy that it's dropped. Hopefully it's
I'm
good
surprised.
content. Very.
Yeah.
You can say that again.
I mean, I'll tell you, for the listeners out there, on our Discord, there were some notes that we were passing by amongst each other over here saying that Anthem's path is following the same path as Andromeda. We were debating about that for a little bit. I don't remember if it was like on Sunday or Monday we were talking about that it's not looking too bright right now.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you're fine.
I was saying the way that the Andromeda's support weaned and ended is following the same pattern that now Anthem is doing with up in EA. Now, I don't think they're gonna drop the ball like they did with Andromeda because Andromeda was a single player storyline game. It was just based on just a playthrough. Well, Anthem is a game as a service and has the potential to bring more money into EA. So I don't see them dropping Anthem just quite the same, but the telltale signs are there. You can tell that when EA's last conference on help me out with this earnings
play. Oh, sorry, the earnings call.
Yeah, the earnings call. They barely talked about Anthem the same way that they would have done with Apex Legends or another game of that caliber. So I don't know. EA is known for being very put you on the block and chop you when you don't need type of developer, but it also can be it helps with their developers keep open-handed, let them do what they have to do, and not get as meddling as some other developers. I'm looking at you, Activision. So for me, I hope that they do good. I mean, think about it. BioWare is a company that has a lot of pedigree when it comes to the gaming industry, and I think that they need to get this thing to work. Otherwise, but yeah, up to you.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna cut in real quick. So I'm hoping when people jump into this Cataclysm, they're gonna come in with a very open mind, positive vibes, and everything, and get that bad taste of release Anthem out of their mouth, But already, I'm scrolling through my Twitter feed, and some people have already tweeted at like our good friend That Mama Rocks or Anthem Your, that they're flying through right now, and they just saw there's a down Strider, and then a Titan right there, and they're attacking the Titan. Literally 10 seconds in, and the Strider and the Titan both just disappeared out of nowhere. So it's a video I'm watching right now on Twitter. So I know they're already starting to.
They're off to a great and rollicking start.
Yeah, they're tweeting everybody. That Mama Rocks, Slice of Pizza, OG Action and Prone, Anthem Your, Guy Anthem, and then they're saying to the developers, Anthem Game, Ben Ervo, BioWare, Warner. So I'm just hoping that was just like a small thing so far. That's all I'm seeing right now. But I really hope that the game's clean.
Look, first impressions, I think the best way that I can tell you about a game is to experience it yourself and make a review or a thought about process on it based on your experiences on it. Think about it. People will always cherry pick what happened in their game And I'm not trying to call Mama Rocks or anybody that we know or follow us. I'm just saying that when it comes to news and stuff like that, always be a skeptic about what you're seeing on your feed. Just make sure you yourself experience it and then go for it from there.
Agreed.
I think I kind of feel bad for BioWare, although a lot of this is of their own making in a sense. But it's like a catch-22. Like, they haven't put out a meaningful update in over 2 months, right? So there is some sort of pent-up frustration and pent-up excitement and anticipation for their next big update. So for the Anthem fans, for us, for a big section of the fan base, they're just waiting for something. They're chomping at the bit to get something. So their expectations are probably out of proportion. Yes. In terms of what's coming. So they're expecting something like to wow them. They're expecting something like, for example, let's use Destiny. They're expecting like a Forsaken or a
Season of Opulence,
a Taken King or something of that sort. And they most likely they're not going to get that. So me personally going in, I just have more tempered expectations because, see, BioWare and Anthem haven't delivered, right? So their precedent isn't really good. So I'm coming at it from, well, I'm gonna try it out. Hopefully it's sticky. It's something that I can play. It's something that I like and I want to keep playing and going back to. But I'm not going in expecting that. So the barometer for me is very, very low. So I don't get disappointed. And I think that's what's going to happen to a lot of people. They're going to go in with these crazy wild expectations. It's not gonna wow them right away, and they're just going to scream into the ether known as the internet and complain about it. Not that I'm saying that's wrong, but I think it is. And then just go ahead.
Well, like the thing is like you have like the fans that are still there, like or like I said, our good friends, Anthem, and everybody. And say like those guys that are testing out that were testing the PTS, they are coming with positive and good vibes, and I don't want to say like they're overhyping what the Cataclysm may be, but if they're putting that much effort in there, and then the normal average player or the players that haven't played the PTS at all go in there expecting all of this in one frontal front, and it doesn't deliver, well, whose fault is that really? I mean, I'm not blaming the streamers or anything at the same time, and they're trying to hype it up, but at the same time, how do you send a positive message without going over and aboard?
Here's the thing. You send a positive message by being very upfront what the people are going to be expecting in that game. If you promise them the earth and back, that and you fail to deliver that's just going to cause a lot of toxicity in the community, and it's going to cause a lot of infighting between the people who love the game and the people who don't enjoy this game. I'll give you an example. Destiny year 1, we get Vault of Glass for the first raid. Then Dark Below drops. We get Crota.
Second best raid.
And then everybody is expecting a new raid coming out on March of that year. Everybody's expecting
for PoE.
Exactly. Everybody's expecting a raid. Everybody's expecting something that's gonna wow them, like they did with Atheon and Crota. What we get a glorified horror mode.
Yes.
It basically
I would say a horror mode.
It was a glorified horror mode and no raid. And everybody lost their collective mind with that thing. They hated it. The amount of people that stopped playing Destiny for a longer period of time when House of Wolves dropped was, I want to say, probably about 35 to 40% of the entire fan base. And it was already dwindling down by that point.
If you talk about PvE base, because you got to remember at that time also Trials of Osiris dropped with PoE.
But
so
think about
a very big PvP base was still there.
Yeah, actually,
I think more people came in.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it
Justin makes a good point there, because although I say we as I'm part of Bungie, but as the game might have lost players due to the fact that they were upset that there was no raid. Justin's absolutely right. It did introduce trials, which is something that was severely lacking, right? That was one of the things with Destiny where there was end game content for PvE, but there wasn't end game content for PvP players, which was something that was a big problem, and they rectified that or started to with trials.
But the thing for me is that I'm not looking at the perspective of just because Anthem does not have that PvP aspect.
Gotcha.
That does not have that crutch to help them when PvE content is lacking. Because if Anthem would have had a mode to basically allow freelancers to battle it out like an arena of some sort, you know, the game would have been better. Would have been just fine. Because you may say, oh, the story is lacking, the missions are not, you know, what I was expecting for. But if the gameplay is fun in a PvP based aspect like Apex Legends, you know, or then people will still playing the game because you have that just that game mode where people can just come back and play it over and over again and vegged out and don't have to worry about other stuff. They don't have that. Destiny had that. When you have those moments where there's no content dropping for you, a game mode that allows you to go back day in and day out and not worry about, you know, your whether it's a enemy or whether it's a raid, but you can just go in there with your friends, have some fun. Hey, think about it. We went and played some Crucible the other day just by ourselves, and we had a blast. Okay, and we went to go play the raid, and we were hating it.
Well, yeah,
we cannot complete the thing. So when you have that game mode that acts like a crutch to help you in those moments of lull where you not have content ready for the fan base, that helps a ton.
Destiny, sorry. Anthem doesn't have that. And then I think there's another thing that we're not talking about that I want to bring up and get your thoughts on it. It's just the layout of how this event is planned. It's not an event where you're going to get everything in one shot, or it's not an event where, you know, let's say, for example, again, comparing it to Destiny, a raid opens up on Sunday or Saturday or whenever it drops to play it. It's something that's going to evolve over the course of 8 weeks, right? So you get 2 weeks where it's like pre-Cataclysm, and then you get 6 weeks of the full-blown Cataclysm. And I don't know how that's going to affect the response and reception to this content, because giving a quick shout out to Slick Willie over at Your Anthem, he put out a video. He himself was surprised. He was not expecting it to drop. Independent of the rumors, and he said something along the lines of, it's something that worried me, where he was like, hey, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but the gist of it was, hey, temper your expectations. The first couple of weeks are going to be a little slow in comparison to the rest of the weeks that are coming in the Cataclysm. And the reason he says that was because he himself in the video said that he spent over 70 hours in the PTS, so he's had quite a bit of experience playing the content. So that was a little worrisome for me, because I'm like, well, we live in an era where everybody just wants instant satisfaction, instant gratification, and if they don't get it right away, they're gonna move on. So that's the dilemma, I think, for BioWare, where they're like, I mean, they've already told us what it's going to be. It's going to be 8 weeks, 2 weeks before the Cataclysm, then 6 weeks full blown Cataclysm. But how do they hook us? How do they hook the player to, you know? Well, I mean, again, they're game designers. This is their job. Their job is to figure this stuff out. But I just want to know how they're gonna do it. Because if people play it today, they play it this weekend, and like, what is this crap? This is no good. Like, what is their response? Oh, just give us 2 more weeks until we get into the Cataclysm. I don't know how they're gonna go about it.
Want me to give you an example of something that happened? A couple that recently just happened to Destiny, the Forges.
Go ahead.
The Forges dropped, and everybody expected to play the Forges, all of them at once. Expected. And what happened was like, no, you have to get to a certain light level to be able to enjoy the Forges. And then and it takes you a while to get there. You know, not all the Forges got unlocked at the first week. There were multiple Forges that were unlocked week in after week. And at the last one, when the Bergusia Forge was supposed to be dropping to be unlocked, players could not unlock it. The Forge was basically, you know, put behind this wall where the fan base, where they could not beat it. And Bungie had to step in and say, you know what, we kind of messed up on that. We realized that we'll just stop it for everybody. And there was a lot of, just infighting between the community about like, well, they shouldn't have done it like that. They dropped the ball by making it behind this puzzle, but nobody could figure it out. They should have been more clear about what the puzzle was asking for them to figure it out. And the fan base, it has that. It has those moments where if you are not careful how you're going to drop this, you can just alienate a lot of people. And what do BioWare can do? Well, number one, look at what Bungie is doing. Realize what the mistakes they made and have those mistakes.
For sure, we're definitely gonna get into that later on in the show.
Going based on what Marlon said on that last Forge, I'll tell you what the greatest moment about that last Forge being unlocked was that there was like live Twitch streams going on, and I think there was like 4 or 5 like main fire teams. I think Dado was one of them.
Yeah.
I think iFrost was the other one, or whatever. There's like 5 fire teams, and everybody came together, and they were on those Twitch streams, and they were just throwing out like answers and random facts and things to help them out. Like this was thousands and thousands of people like coming together to try to figure this out together because they had the key, they had the puzzle to try to figure this out, and they were going through it. And I thought. Personally, I thought that was an amazing thing. I would never see a community come together like that to help solve and unlock this final Forge.
And then Bungie goes and drops the ball by unlocking them themselves.
They did, but at the same time, they saw the struggle. They saw the 18-hour stream that was going on, that these guys were just like, they were sleeping on camera and writing down notes, doing math, looking up like old ancient Greece like mythology and trying to figure out answers and things from like prehistoric Asia and stuff.
What a bunch of pathetic losers.
Whatever.
Screw you. But this is the thing that really annoyed me about it, and this is the thing where developers really dropped the ball. And here's why. When that happened, they realized that 2 key important facts and messages that were supposed to drop for you during the game were not coded into the game.
Okay, I'm gonna cut in as host, and we're gonna properly move in because we've already moved in. I'm just basically just saying it, but we've already moved in. Yeah. Listeners, we're gonna move into the Destiny portion of our show, which is the main portion of our show. We're gonna get into our next topic after Marlon finishes his thought.
Like they realized, the developers at Bungie realized that they forgot to code a couple of key messages that tells you how to beat and complete the Forge puzzle correctly. They forgot to do that. And my point of view was that if Bungie did that and realized they made a mistake on that, Anthem, BioWare should have done the same thing by saying, listen, you know what? We realized that the first couple of weeks of the Cataclysm are kind of dull for a lot of the players that play this in the PTS. Why don't we just scale that a little bit and just make it so that part of the Cataclysm only lasts for, 2-3 days, and then go in with the full-blown Cataclysm. Allow the fan base to enjoy what's good about it, as opposed to just keep waiting until the thing actually, picks up speed.
So one of the things that I think is, I don't work for Anthem, I don't work for BioWare, obviously, but this is all speculation. I think that one of the big reasons that this event is spaced out over the courses of 8 weeks is because as this event is rolling out, or during these first 2 weeks, they're still currently working on whatever the ending of this event is. Maybe they have it locked down, maybe they don't. I'm of the belief that they don't. I'm of the belief that the reason this was styled in a sort of like a gauntlet way, where it takes a couple of weeks for the entire thing to roll out or for the entire thing to finish, is because they're not done with it yet. I think they're still tweaking and working and trying to get stuff done. So I look at it as a crutch. Again, this is speculation. I have no idea whether this is it, but I think of it as a crutch that they're using to give themselves enough time to put this whole thing together. But because we've been weaving Destiny into this conversation in and out, we're just finally going to get right into it. And the first section of this Destiny talk, we're going to talk about Destiny 1 and 2 and the differences between them and what we liked from one and from two, and what two or one has done better over the other. I'm going to start off just by saying that on another show that Marlon and I do, we had a list of our top 10 games of the generation, and I figured that he was going to choose this one, and surprisingly for me, I didn't think I was going to choose it, but I did, because at the end of the day, although I don't play it anymore, it's still so far my game of the generation, and that we both chose Destiny.
Yeah.
We both chose Destiny for probably the same reasons or very similar reasons: camaraderie, friendships, memories, the people that we've come to know. The majority of the people that I consider my friends now I've met through Destiny. It was because of Destiny. But to speak to the topic, Destiny 1 was just something else. Destiny 1 was a beautiful experience. At least the first 2 years for me were just a beautiful experience that I could never forget. Vault of Glass, Crota's End, Prison of Elders, and then when they got to the Taken King, to this day, my King's Fall is still my favorite raid. But I'm going to open the floor up to you guys and just let's start with Justin quickly. Justin, like, what was it about Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 that you liked?
Long list coming up.
Hold on, let me get my Santa's list out.
You ordered a pony this time?
This is kind of weird. To be honest, when Destiny first dropped, I thought it was an okay game. I thought it was average. Just, like another Call of Duty. Halo, kind of, whatever.
And then he met me.
Yeah, pretty much. Then, I'm roaming around the tower, and this Pixar turtle messages me, "Hey, man, let's do a raid." And I'm like, "I don't know what that is, but I'll help you." And then I met half of these gentlemen on here doing the Vault of Glass raid, which took us 8 hours to try to open the front door of Vault of Glass.
Oh my God, dude, it was crazy.
Dude, I would have loved if you guys would have recorded that on. I would have loved if Twitch would have been as big as it is now, as it is back then, because I would have loved to see you guys just struggling with those 8 hours.
Oh my gosh!
It was a struggle. It was a struggle because I remember that. Just as probably being a bit hyperbolic here, I don't think it was 8 hours, but it was a very, very long time. We were at the front of that door for a long, long time. And Justin's right. It was a struggle because, as you guys remember, we had to get all the 3 concentric rings to build up in order to, the confluxes in order to open the door. And it would always be one thing where, like, we middle and left had it, and then right would screw up, and then right and middle had it, and then left would screw up. It was always a combination of someone dying or screwing up where we just could never unlock the door. And Justin mentions Nick, and I'm really happy that he mentions Pixar Turtle, because at least for me, and I'm pretty sure for everybody, Pixar Turtle, our friend Nick, who at the time was a young kid, he was like a little boy. He was like maybe 12, 13 years old. He was a young kid.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was the nexus. He connected everybody. I met because of Nick. I met Justin because of Nick. I met Jacob, and then through Jacob I met Lee, and then through Lee I met Andrew, and then through Justin I also met Marlon, and then through Jacob I met Logan, and through Logan we met KJ. It's like this interconnected web, and if you just rewind time, it all goes back to Nick.
Yes, absolutely.
It's funny you talking about that, because I remember here's the thing that makes me laugh about the whole situation. So I met Dalton while trying to do Atheon, and basically what happened was that he needed one more player for basically help them out to go to Mars. I always done Venus. I know it's the same Mars. I get that, you don't have to like bring me stuff like that, but I met him through that. We beat the raid, and then a couple of weeks later, he asked me, "Hey Marlon, listen, I got a buddy who wants to do want to go LFG and look to do Crota." And I go, yeah, sure, let's do it. We get into the Crota, and I remember very clearly we get into the room where the crystal is, and Dalton says, we're not leaving this thing until we get this thing done. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. in the morning, we're doing this. And Justin says, I like this guy already. It's like, I told him, like, yo, no, man, I gotta sleep. It's like, no, man, we're doing, come on.
Actually,
and,
go ahead, I'm sorry, I apologize.
And after that, basically, it just went like that. I proved to these guys that I'm like, I don't know, man, this Whiteson kid doesn't suck. Because Dalton, you know how Dalton is. He likes talking crap about everybody, you know. and like, he's like, no, this Whiteson kid, be careful with him. He's not really that good. I'm like, Dalton, can you just let me play my game and actually do something, please? And I got to the point where Justin's like, wow, this guy's actually pretty decent. Yeah, I like this guy.
Just decent, though.
Just decent.
Just decent.
Because this guy was like dealing with some idiot afterwards. You remember?
Where's Marlon? I was playing.
So, yeah. Justin, do you remember Relats?
Relats?
The idiot with the bubble. Everybody up. Oh, sorry, and I'm sorry for the curse. I'm sorry, but he really did screw everybody up with that stupid bubble. In Crota, there was a section where you're supposed to throw rocket launchers at it. So in Destiny 1, the bubble, would kill you if you use, rocket launchers inside the bubble. And every single time we play with this guy, he's high as a kite. First of all, he's high as a kite.
Wait, who talking about X?
No, not
X.
X.
This is someone else.
Oh, somebody else. Oh, okay.
And I remember that Justin played one time with this guy. He's like, this guy's an idiot, man. This guy, I'm not playing with this guy ever again.
Yeah, if I don't like someone, they make an X on my list. Like, just
they're on the crap. I almost swore too. They're on the crap list, huh?
Yeah, they are. They really are.
So it's just one of those little things that happens to us whenever we do the raid, because that just little things that happen to us that we find it funny, or no, we find it really annoying at times, or at least during those times when we're doing the raids, that end up being the funniest.
We try to keep each other happy. We try to keep, and then I remember just always like, oh, you know what? And then I friend requested Goose, and then I friend requested Andrew, and then I remember Lee being the shield guy for Atheon.
Yes,
really good.
That's a great story. That's
the thing. So and then one day all of a sudden I get this thing called a clan invite, and I'm like, what is this? So then I don't think we exchanged numbers yet. I think we're still just on the PlayStation chat.
For the longest time, we text through that stupid app for the longest. I don't know. I think, was it your idea to give numbers? I forgot.
Well, I think I finally got your number or something. No homo. But
Oh homo.
Oh God.
Then it started a beautiful thing, and then I was like, "What's the name of this clan?" TMSG, the Morningside Group, and then maybe another podcast. Goose can go into detail why it's called the Morningside Group. But
we'll go into it right now. It's the corniest thing. It is the corniest thing. You guys already know. I think I told Andrew. I think Andrew was the first one who asked. He's like, "Why is it called this?" And I said it, and he's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Yeah, I know it's corny." But I think back in high school or something, there's this thing where I learned they were talking about American history, they were talking about world history, and something about the British Empire. Yeah, the British Empire used to have the saying where the sun is always shining on the British Empire, because no matter where in the world the sun
never sets on the British Empire,
and it never set on the empire. Yeah, the sun never sets on the British Empire because of the fact that they were all around the world. Right, so it didn't matter what time zone the sun was always up on their time zone. So I was like, the Morningside Group looks kind of cool. And then when I was in undergrad, I had to do a paper on this business or something, and I chose this random small business. I think I'm almost positive they have headquarters in Southern California, and I think in Colorado, and it's called the Morningside Group as well, although. They didn't make Morningside a compound word. It was the Morningside Group. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I like that name. For whatever reason, that name I thought was cool back then. And I chose it as the name of the clan. And we've been that for almost close to 5 years now. At the end of this year, it'll be, I think, 5 years. So it's been quite a while. with that. And I did say that we were going to have topics, but we're just going to make it a conversational show, and we're going to jump around because I'm really having fun talking about Destiny here. But Justin,
doesn't it make you want to come back? Doesn't it
Not
want to make you?
Not really.
Not really.
It's like he's talking about an ex that he had fun with, but not looking back on it, like, I don't want to go back with that girl.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
That's a great comparison. It's like talking about an ex that you had a great time with, a fun time with, and you broke up in good standing, right?
Yeah.
Like you broke up in good terms, but you're like, nah, we broke up for a reason, right? But the oh my God, I forgot his name. Sorry, the Lee story is a great one. I thought so. First of all, Lee is a Southern gentleman with a great Southern accent, deep voice back then. Now I'm used to it. It's not so deep. But I thought he was like an older gentleman, right? I thought he was much older than us, and I didn't want to swear in front of him, so I made sure not to swear in front of him. And I think it was Jacob who brought him on. He's like, oh, I know this guy who can get us past this part. He's really good at it. And we were, Marlon, what section was that?
The Templar.
No, the Gorgon part or what?
Yeah.
The shield.
It's the Templar.
The shield.
part.
Oh, the Templar.
The Templar. Thanks, Andrew. So we were at the Templar part, and everybody who we had played it with, like it was just an utter failure. There was no movement in terms of us getting through that. It was just failure after failure after failure.
I remember one time we were all like, all right, you know what? Screw this. Get out the icebreakers. We're doing this from the top. We'll see on the platform. And then didn't work at all. We were so there. We were so mad. Like, you know what? Somebody get us somebody who can actually do the shield. That guy sucks on the bottom.
So
dying.
They had just patched out the little trick, because I think we did it a couple times where you would throw like grenades or something and like get it to fall off.
Oh, that was Atheon. The patch that they fixed in this one was there's a cliff to the far left that you could jump off to, and you can snipe them from there and stay in cover.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes. Yeah, they took that out, and I remember Lee took over, and with Lee playing with it, it was the first time that I felt like, oh wow, we can actually beat this section. This guy gives us a chance, and that's how you won my respect back then. I was like, whoa, that was something else. I remember having that feeling of like being real happy of, oh, we can do this. We can actually beat this guy.
And the thing about that, and here's what really made me laugh about that specific raid. That I remember Gustavo at the end of that encounter, he said this exact same words. See, TMSG get things done. See, we get things done.
See, when he was like,
but we get things done.
when he was like, oh man, this guy Lee, he is something else, and I'm thinking the same thing too. I'm like, yeah, this guy is good. And then we bring him into PvP, and it was just the opposite over there.
No, wait. To be fair, he was good at the beginning. He was good at the beginning
until they nerfed auto rifles.
Yeah, with the Vex Mytha class and the Student Regime. Yeah. Dude, I remember when they nerfed those auto rifles. Lee was like the most disappointed puppy.
He didn't know what to do with his life.
It's like, oh, but what can I do now? My auto rifles, they were my best friends. I can't do anything now. And I remember Andrew tell him, use the hand cannon. Get good with this.
And Andrew was another one. So I'll be honest, I'm just a sick person in the head in terms of how I value people. I really am. But that's just I work by a certain value system. This is how I work. Andrew won my respect by just being so humble. So we used to, I don't know if you guys remember that, this is going to sound racist, I guess, but it's just the truth. Do you guys remember that Asian guy from Brooklyn, way taller than you, 4'26" or something?
Yeah.
He was really good at PvP, but he was a trash talker. He just spoke so much trash, and I didn't really like that. And then I remember Andrew came along, and we were introduced to Andrew through Lee, and we would play everything, and then we started playing PvP with Andrew, and this guy constantly at the top of the leaderboards, constantly, and you wouldn't hear a peep. He was a silent man even back then. Our friend Andrew's a good guy. He's a mild-mannered guy. but you wouldn't hear a peep, nothing, just nothing, just so yeah, that's just what I do. It's a regular day for me. Yep, this is what I do, 9 to 5. I'm just top of the leaderboards every day, and I was
then
like,
trials came in, and then you can see he went from okay to like, what are you guys doing? Stop pressing there. Stop popping your head.
In my defense, I carried both Lee and Goose to the lighthouse.
I remember going into a party when you guys were doing Trials of Osiris, and I just hear Andrew going, "You guys, told you how many times not to go in there. You guys keep getting your heads blown up by the snipers." And I'm like, what the hell did I just get myself into right now? Like, okay, I never seen this guy get so infuriated. Like, it's like, my teammates suck, man. He sucks so bad.
He never. That's one thing I'll say about Andrew. He never threw us under the bus. He may have been thinking it, but he never said it.
Probably haven't played competitive with me lately then.
Oh, dude. This guy will tell it to you straight now.
Wait, you came back? You came back, Andrew, to play?
Oh, no, not lately. I'm talking about like when competitive, I guess, came out. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. I remember, like, when I first played with Trials with Andrew, he tells me, Marlon, question, how good are you? I like, oh, I'm decent, and Quip like, no. In Trial, it's a different beast. How good are you? I'm like, I can snipe. And he's like, okay, I can work with that. And then, like, the funny thing about that is, like, we get in there, and he starts sniping everything else. I'm like, you're not giving me any kills. You're killing everything, for crying out loud. It's like, how can I show you I'm good at this thing if you kept killing everything? He's like, well, you gotta be faster than that.
What's that famous Tony Stark meme of first person shoot? I love that Tony Stark meme. Oh my god, I'm looking for it. I can't find it. Forget it. But Andrew once sent a meme. It was something. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of fell for it too. Obviously, it wasn't Andrew's fault. Although maybe it was. I am not the best PvP player. Although back then I was okay, right? The one thing that I took pride in was middle of the pack. I wasn't at the bottom. I could be at the bottom, but certainly not always. And I remember I would play solo. I'd play with anybody else, and I'd be top 2, top 3, top 4. And then when I play with Andrew, it was just like all the time, like bottom 4th. I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't know if it's like a psychological impact that he has on me. I don't know if it's just he's taking all my darn kills. Of course, it's easy to blame him, right? It's easy to say you're taking my kills, dude, but it's not that. He's just better. He's just that good.
Here's the thing, like, and my mentality when it comes to playing PvP by myself, when it comes to playing with you guys, it's totally different. There's a shift in the paradigm here. When I'm playing by myself, I'm thinking kill. I don't care whose kill that is. I don't care who's top of the leaderboard or the bottom. I gotta get kills no matter what. So my playstyle is more aggressive, more in your face, shotguns, and just basically. But usually when I'm playing by myself, it's either 1, 2, or 3. I'm having a really crappy game, maybe 4, but usually it's 1, 2, 3 by myself. When I'm playing with you guys, I'm thinking, I don't have to do anything. They will do everything for me because I know I cannot beat these guys in Crucible. They're better than me in that, so I'll just let them take the kills. So when I'm playing with these guys, I play more passive, less aggressive, more just stay back, and that usually happens. And you can tell that on the leaderboards. 4, 5, 6, KD 1.0, 1.2, never dipping like to like 0.02, and never like that. That's happened before, but never like that. But the funny thing about when I decide, you know what, I'm gonna start being like a vulture here. I'm gonna start taking Andrew's kills and Justin's kills. I don't care. I'm gonna play my style with this guys. Got to the leaderboard. It's like, what happened? Just like, why don't you play that every single time?
Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to talk about Trials a little bit, and then I'm going to open it up because I want to ask you guys a question as somebody who hasn't been paying attention to Destiny for a while. So Marlon's right. When I play PvP, even with my friends, it's always I want to be on top, right? I don't necessarily always do, or rarely, but that's the mindset. The mindset I want to get the most kills so I can just brag about how I'm better, blah blah. But one of the things that I noticed in Destiny 2 with their new system of trials was all team shots, right? Andrew could be as good as he was, but if he was up against two other opponents, 2-1, most likely he was gonna die, right? And it wasn't about how good he was. It wasn't about skill, although he could certainly take both of them out, but it was that much harder than it would have been in Destiny 1. And one of the things that I found out while playing with him and Justin and Andrew and all the guys and Marlon and Lee was that at least when I would play with Andrew, I would literally just do what he said. He'd be like, do this, do that, go around here, go around that, flank here, flank that. He became like a not to kiss his behind, but he became like a ring general because he was calling the shots. Oh no, please don't fall asleep. Because he was calling the shots. Sorry, I got scared. I thought my computer was gonna shut off. Please.
Please tell them that story for crying out loud. That is like the funniest story I've ever heard for Destiny 1.
I'll let you guys can say that story.
I'll let Justin tell that one.
I forgot. I think it was like a strike or something.
Yeah, it was us three in the nightfall. Yeah.
So it was the nightfall, and I think it was the one with the shank that you were supposed to get into Rasputin's base.
Yes. Okay. So we're doing this newer Strikefall.
I like that. That's a good one. Strikefall.
Hey, Marlon, like Dragon Ball hoops?
To the listeners out there, maybe another day we'll talk about Dragon Ball hoops, but that is.
So we're gonna put that on the back burner for you guys.
On this nightfall for that shank, we decided, and the difficulty was so hard. I think it was a solar burn or something like that.
There was a burn that was definitely screwing us over. Yeah.
It was void.
And you couldn't jump in the air either.
Yeah, couldn't jump. He was like grounded or something.
Yeah.
So on Destiny 1, of course, Gustavo is a warlock, and he had self-res. And we're like, run your self-res. So he was running self-res. I was a hunter running my...
the name of the strike is Fallen Savior. Okay, for those Destiny aficionados right there.
So I was running my hunter with Tether, because Tether was new. And then at that time, I'm not sure. I think Andrew was still playing Hunter. He didn't go back to his Titan.
I don't remember.
It was a while back. I don't remember either.
Or he was a Hunter. He was one of those two. But we were stuck at the very beginning.
Oh my God, that beginning was such a pain, dude.
This nightfall. So the warsat would come from space and just crash down onto Earth. And of course, your ghost had to, scan the warsat. And in that horde mode, you would have to wait and just survive this wave and wave and wave of ads. And it was just so difficult, so tough. We were either getting one or two shot or even one hit meleeed. And it was just so ridiculous. And so anyways, in the midst of doing this, I go down. Andrew comes in because we had to stay in the warsat in that circle to keep it going, or the ads would never stop coming. So I go down, Andrew gets inside the warsat, and he's trying to res me, and he's resing me, and he gets shot, and he goes down as well. And here's Goose, all solo, all by himself, Mr. Self-Res. And here he comes, and he comes in, and he slides in, and he's trying to res us, hitting the square button, and he's getting shot constantly from all angles. And in the gripes of his voice, he's with the game.
From the depths of his soul, man.
He's like, no.
He just bleeded for his life.
Now the biggest question is, did he get the rest?
No. I was so close though. It was like a sliver, dude. And
he was like at 97% at the res. You just hear the. Oh, my God.
I got it.
You just hear this sadness, like somebody's been sitting on the John all day, and he's just trying to let it out finally.
One thing about the situation was that from then on, that became the official trying to rest somebody in Destiny 1. You get down in Atheon, you get down in Crota, you get down in Skolas, you get down with Wrath of the Machine, you get down. any time against the Zamboni, you're trying to arrest the guy, like, please. and the thing that makes me love that story is the fact that Gustavo has left the building.
I'm back.
But here's the thing about the story was that it shows that these guys were committed to.
Ooh, it shows that it's still recording. Thank God. For real.
Please. Don't stop the recording, please. Anyways, so it shows that you guys were committed to completing this thing no matter what, you know. Now, I don't remember exactly if you guys were able to get this thing done that exact day.
But it was the first part. We couldn't even pass the first part. I don't think we were able to finish it that day.
Well, not that day. No, we didn't finish it that day.
Here's the thing about me. Destiny has so many memories that just makes me glad that I am a gamer. Because the thing about being a gamer is that people get this like awesome stories about what video game they beat, the bosses that they destroy, and stuff like that. But is that human element, that interactive that you have with the other folks that may be close to you, like playing some Mario Party with 4 people in the same room or playing online. Those little things, the shenanigans that happens, the stories that you can look back and think, man, that was funny. It was frustrating, but it was funny. And those are the things that made me enjoy this game so much. This is the reason why this game for me holds a very special place in my heart. And I did talk about it on another podcast, the AEG show, if anybody's listening from there. And that made me realize that these guys, I would have never met in real life if it wasn't because of this game. I would have never met Justin. I would have never met Andrew, KJ, Ivan, Tony, Mikey, even, you know, our good friend Julio, who may be a bit of a, you know, egotistical, you know, tank my chain kind of guy, but he's a good guy at the end of the day, you know, and Gustavo and Lee and all these people that I have met through this game that gave me a little thing back in my life, you know, and this is the thing. I wasn't the type of guy that would play raids. I was very antisocial when the game first came out because I'm thinking they're gonna make fun of my accent. My accent sucks.
We still do,
and we still made fun of his accent.
And they still do. And they still do. I can't articulate the words correctly because I ended up learning Cuban school for crying out loud. So Yoda, yellow, buffalo,
Buffalo.
and that's where it comes from. That's where a little story comes on from there. But this is the thing, though. This game has brought me so many memories that I would have never done in any other type of game. It reminds me of like those stories that you hear from people from like at least from older than me that usually play like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, that, you know, we would get together and have this wonderful, you know, storylines and adventures that later on would become, you know, ongoing jokes on the saga of this team. And the thing that I enjoy the most is that I got to see these guys from Las Vegas. And this is the beautiful thing about it, you know. When you hear people and you play with them for a very long time, there are certain, you know, quirks, certain, you know, signs that you can pick up if the person is being truthful to who they are and who are just faking it. And I know this guys for a very long time, well, 4 or 5 years now. And when I went to Las Vegas and I got into the room,
oh God!
And you saw them passed out and drunk,
and I saw them going, "What happened? I don't know, man. They stole my wallet. I tried to bring
why you
this
put it
guy
on
over
blast?"
And here's the thing. When I got in that room and I smelled like that they had been partying last night, like when I came in there, you know what I thought to myself? Yep, these guys are the same thing in the PSN as they are in real life. They are the same people. They don't change. They are not, you know, dishonest, or they're not, you know, faking it. These guys are the real deal. And for me, that moment wasn't, my apprehension melted away because I realized that these guys were the same knuckleheads that I had rated for the past 4 or 5 years, and they were going to do the same dumb BS in real life in the game. You know.
So much for what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Now it's part of Freelancer Radio. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Dude, man. But the thing is, though, like you gotta expect it. Like I this is the thing, and I don't want to put them on blast, but I was waiting on that lobby.
But I just did.
I was waiting on that lobby for like 20 minutes. I'm like, where are my friends? I'm here. I want to have fun. And I get in there, and they're all passed out, completely having a really crappy night. And I'm going,
I was in my underwear.
I told you guys to wait for me. Why didn't you wait for me? It's like imagine Destiny. It's like I'm expecting for us to go out and raid. And no, they decide to go out and raid before me and go in there, and I'm getting into the group chat. Oh, they're all battered and beater and done, and they're just asking for help. They're asking for reses. They're asking for help for all.
Goose falling down. Help.
I gotta share that one.
And you go in there going, what happened?
No. Which one was the other one? Where so like 30 minutes, 45 minutes go by, and I'm like, yo, where's our boy, the quiet man? Oh, I don't know. I look at my phone, and boy has been kicked out the club.
It's like he was taken out by the hobgoblins. You know, that's what happened. You know. Like they were just sitting in a porch, they just took him out. Says, you know what? You're not ready for this club, man.
There's
Get out.
that I want to say that Marlon mentioned. Actually, there's something I want to say that Lee said and then Marlon. So the first time that I met these guys, I met Lee and Andrew. We met up in Tennessee and drove down to Alabama. It was a great time. I love my time in the South. And there was something that Lee said that always stuck to me, even to this day. Those words still stick with me. Where I think I said something along the lines of, "Oh, you guys are my online friends," and he took an exception to that. He's like, "We're not your online friends, dude. We're your friends. We're your real friends." And I thought about that. And I was like, he's right. He's right. I shouldn't make a distinction of online to make it less than. He's right. These are my people. These are my friends. And then the next year I met up with them again and Justin. And what Marlon said is so true. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't weird. It was just like meeting old friends. Even when I met Justin for the first time, even when I met Lee and Andrew for the first time, it was just like hooking up with old friends again. Like we hadn't, like your friends in high school, friends in undergrad, wherever. It's like, oh, hey, how you doing? What's up? And it was something that Destiny provided. Destiny was that platform that brought us together. And throughout the years, not only have we played Destiny, but literally through various consoles, we've played almost everything. We have stories on Anthem. We have stories on Destiny. We have stories on Dying Light. Marlon loves his lock.
I hate that game. You know what? That game, I swear to God, or whatever deity is out there.
Don't swear.
Whatever deity is out there. All right. Listen, if you give me Dying Light and these three knuckleheads over here leave me to die one more time, I am never buying another Dying Light game ever in my life. Because
you gotta get ready for part 2, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, don't arrive to the party late the next time.
This is the thing for me though. You guys like pressure me to buy that dumb game, okay? Because Dying Light has some issues.
Oh my God, he was so hung up on this non-existent story.
Storyline.
He was so hung up on this story because we kept skipping
I
cutscenes.
bought it for $35, man, for crying out loud. I didn't even get to know what the hell I was playing. That's the thing, though.
So just okay, this has gone off the rails, but I got to share this one. So Dying Light is I would say for all of us some of our favorite games of this generation. I got it because of Lee. Lee's a big fan of Dead Island. The folks who made Dead Island Techland, they developed Dying Light. He's like, hey, listen, you got to pick it up. I'm gonna pick it up with Andrew, so we got to play together. We play together. We played it for a couple of weeks. We go back to Destiny. I think we put maybe 30, 40 hours into the game. We didn't finish it, but we made it pretty well in. And then I think like a couple months later, maybe a year later, Justin gets it. Or no, was it Justin?
I mean, I did get it at some point, but
yes.
I don't think we played right away.
Yeah, a year later or something. Justin didn't get it right away, but Justin gets it. And then me and Justin are playing, and then for whatever reason, I think we put it down. And then, I don't know, 6 months later, we pick it up again. And then it's me, Justin, and Marlon, and Lee, yeah. And then Marlon hops into it, and we helped Lee get the platinum, and then Lee helps me get the platinum, and I think Marlon was the last one to get it. I think the last people who played it together were Justin, Marlon, and myself. I think those were the last 3 to play it. Because I think after a while, Andrew was like, "I'm not starting this stuff again. I'm sorry, I've already started it twice." I think I remember him saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not starting it all over again." And we were just rushing through it because we had played the majority of it, and it was 2 bad things for Marlon. First bad thing, since we didn't start all over again, we had a grapple hook. He didn't have a grapple hook, right? So it was hard for him to catch up, but he did a good job. And then the second thing was that for whatever reason, he was just stuck on the story, but we had played it and we knew the story sucked. So every time there was a cutscene, we would just skip it and we'd be like, "No, don't worry about it, dude. This sucks. This story is no good. There's nothing here for you. Don't worry about it." And he was like, "Oh, okay."
Like, dude, I was so mad. Here's the thing about that, because you gotta understand something. When I buy something, I want to give it a good college try. If I feel like the storyline is not up to par, I will make my own, review or thought process, or how you want to call it about it, my own, opinion on it. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. My own opinion about it, and I'll let you know if it, is truly bad, or maybe it has some redeeming qualities to it. I didn't even get to see that because I didn't know what the hell was happening. There was one point where I go back and play the game, and the thing about Dying Light is that when you're playing with other people, it changes you from what you're doing. So, for example, it skips levels 1, 2, or 3, and you immediately go to level 4 or mission 4, and you don't know what's happening. It doesn't. It is not non-linear. It is like if you're playing with your friends and they're on mission 16, well, you start the game on mission 16. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't go back and I'm going. And so I took the virus and took it out. I'm like, wait, what virus? What? Why am I here? What am I doing all this? And then I realized, what? Let me go back and actually go through YouTube, for crying out, for a game that I paid $35 for. It's already been out for like 2 years, and I still paid $35 for it. I had to go to YouTube to look at the cutscenes for a game that I bought. So,
but you have to admit the story sucked.
Yeah, but I wanted to make my own opinion about it. Okay,
it's all about the gameplay in that one.
It's the same thing with the Cataclysm. Okay, I don't want to see some YouTube head telling me what the game is bad or not. I want to make my own opinion about it, and now I want to see if it's really bad. Because here's the thing: people were telling me that Destiny sucked. People were telling me that game was no good. It was all gonna die with Assassin's Creed, with Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, with Batman. What is this game that came out when the game Destiny came out? It wasn't Batman
Division?
Arkham? No, it was Arkham Knight.
Okay, what about it?
When Arkham Knight came out, I was like, oh, this is going to be the Destiny killer. And I still enjoy Destiny, even after all the years. Because if you look at the forums of Destiny, bro, those first 2 years, everybody was hoping for it to die. Okay?
Yeah, moving over to Destiny. I'm glad you mentioned that, because Destiny has something that none of these looter shooters, and I shouldn't say none of these looter shooters, there are looter shooters who have it as well. Division, Borderlands is coming out, but I think above all of them, Destiny has something that a lot of them don't have, and then the ones that do have don't compare. And that's like a stickiness. There's something that, I mean, for me, it's personally now it's done, right? I have, and let me be clear, it's not Destiny. I just don't. I personally, my thing is now, my philosophy is I don't want to spend more than 500 hours in any given game, right? Like a games as a service for me is just not a thing for me right now. I just don't see myself playing not just Destiny, but any of those games, Division, Anthem, Destiny, any of those
Borderlands
games,
3,
any of those games that require you to continue to play over and over and over and over again. That's just not something that I see myself doing right now, nor something that I want to do right now. For those who like it, perfect. Kudos to you. Great. I'm happy for you. But just for me,
I love it.
There you go. But that's just not. It's not something I see myself playing. But it does have a stickiness. It works. People keep going back to play that game. Like, I always share the story, and I think I've shared it before. When I had my PS3, there was this guy from Florida. I forget his game tag. He's still my friend on PSN. All he would play was Final Fantasy 14 online, or Final Fantasy 11. Sorry, that's all he would play, and it would just drive me up a wall. It just used to piss me off that somebody could spend that much time on only one game when there were so many other games to experience. And I remember I sent him a message. I told him, I'm like, dude, this is crazy, but it bothers me that you play this game all the time. Do you want me to buy you a game? And he was like, dude, I'm not broke. I don't want you to think that. He's like, I just like playing this game. And I felt so bad and hypocritical when Destiny came out because I was that guy.
You were that guy.
All I thought about, I'd be at work and I'd be thinking about a Destiny. The semester of my graduation, I had to put my PlayStation away for a month, for like close to 6 weeks, because I'm like, if I don't put this away, I'm not going to graduate. Because I would come home from work, I would come home, I would get out of work, go to school, come home from school, and I'd play Destiny.
Yep. That happened to me. That happened to me in undergrad too. There were so many, like, there was an assignment that I needed to do was to take 10 photos of 10 different people for a photograph assignment that I had. And
Mom, dad, brother, sister, you already have.
I literally had to do that. I literally had to do that because Destiny took so much of my time that I realized that I could not give it the time to this assignment that I should have given it. And I realized that, you know what, I'm gonna stop playing as much as Destiny, and that's when I stopped for like maybe 2-3 weeks. And I said, you know what, let me focus on this assignment because it's the assignment that I need to pass, for me to pass this class. And I realized that that's when I seen so many people that, like, I was like, Gustavo, like, how can somebody play so many hours on WoW? How many people could play so many hours on MMOs and just get their lives, like, I remember one time I was reading of this Chinese dude that basically died because he just kept playing WoW all the time. And I go,
I'm so evil. I laughed when I read that. God forgive me. I laughed.
It's like adult Chinese man dies due to heart failure because of playing WoW. Because
I think it was like 36 hours or something. Like, come on, dude, you were asking for it, man.
For those of you that don't know what WoW is, it's World of Warcraft. Just putting that out there.
And I realized, like, how can somebody do it? And then I played Destiny, and I go, okay, now I can understand how somebody can get into like this. How somebody could just think about it, dream about it. Hell, I had dreams about getting the Gallahorn and waking up and going, oh, it was a dream.
It's just a dream.
I don't have it in real life. So it's this thing, you had it too.
I felt bad. Who was it that had like 7 guys? I think it was Logan. Logan was the one who kept getting Gallahorns over and over.
Yeah.
He didn't get
never get the Hogwarts.
But for the listeners out there, and many of you know, but I'll just rehash it again. And Destiny, I think the first 18 months of Destiny, or when did they nerf it? Was it after taking King or before?
It was before. If I'm guessing correctly.
Oh, Rise of Iron.
It was before Rise of Iron dropped. They nerfed it, I want to say, a week before Rise of Iron dropped. So
they sold it.
I think it was earlier than that though, because
I think
Rise of Iron they had the
other Gallahorn.
The Gallahorn
back thing.
Like the black one.
Yeah, but it was already nerfed at that point.
Yeah, but I was saying, so it was nerfed.
It was a little bit longer.
Far prior than Rise of Iron.
But
can I just say real quick? During the first couple months of Destiny, I felt a little bit abandoned, just a little bit, because everybody left to go play Evolve, and I was there, and I'm like,
I never made the jump. But
I was like,
called it.
They'll come back. They'll come back.
No, Justin called it. He said, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's another story I want to tell the listeners. That's a good one because I never forget it. I remember I wasn't going to get Evolve. I'm not going to lie. And then I'm not going to lie. FOMO and peer pressure took its toll. And I remember it was Lee, Andrew, and Jacob. Jacob was the one that broke me. They were all playing and having fun. They were all playing and having fun. And I remember it was a February. I never forget it. I think it was February 2015 maybe. And he's like, oh, you should play it. And it was a Sunday, and it was early on a Sunday. They were all playing, having fun and laughing. And I'm in the party just like a loser, just playing Destiny, doing nothing. I'm like, man, I'm gonna go buy it. I was like, I'm gonna go buy it. He's like, where are you gonna go? I'm like, FYE is open. I'm gonna go to FYE. He's like, why don't you go to GameSpot? I'm like, I don't give GameSpot my money. And I went to FYE. and I went to FYE and I bought it. And I never forget, it was like 65.31. And and it was freezing, man. It was cold that February Sunday morning. It was cold. It was so cold. I never forget it. And I came back.
Just download the game.
I wasn't gonna do that. You know, you team physical. So
Yeah,
when I
I
came
know.
back, I bought it and I started playing it. But Justin called it though, because Justin was like, "You guys be back in 2 weeks." Dude, 2 weeks later, we had dropped that game like cold turkey.
So here's the thing.
Like that freezing Sunday.
Here's the thing, and Andrew, you were right. The nerf of Gallahorn happened about a week before the Taken King dropped. So Taken King dropped. So it was a week before. That was the nerf that was the Gallahorn, so that it will not go in towards Oryx.
What was the name of the perk that made it super strong? The
Wolfpack rounds. Wolfpack rounds.
I almost said Jackal shoes. Jackal shoes.
What?
Inca dog rounds. Okay, that's what it was. It was the Inca dog, the Peruvian Inca dog rounds.
I don't know where they got Jackal shoes from, but just real quick.
So here's the thing. So anybody who got those, he's talking about when you got it. For me, I got it drop Trials of Osiris silver package. That's when my Gallahorn dropped for me, and it wasn't on the gold package. It was the silver package that you get at 5 wins, and when it dropped, let me tell you, it was. If you were anywhere near me when that dropped, your face would have gone red, or you would have thinking, "What is this guy doing?" Okay, because I started hyperventilating, and it looked like I was inside of a adult-oriented movie. Okay, so to the point where I was so happy that I got it. During this time, there was a YouTuber called DPJ he will make top 5 reaction videos to people that drop exotics in Destiny. My reaction is in one of those videos. Okay?
Oh,
because
really? Dude, you have to send that link. I want to see it.
My reaction to that is not safe for work. I'll tell you that. That is not safe for work.
Nothing is safe for work with Marlik.
So here's the thing, though. Like you have these stories with Evolve. You have the stories with competitive that just you look back on it and you go, man, what was I thinking? You know. Here's one that I have that you two are gonna laugh. Him over there, quiet man, not gonna like. So we decided to play some.
We won't know if he does or he doesn't because he'll be quiet about it.
Here's the thing: we were playing, and this is what I want to get into: the changes that happened with Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, and why people didn't like it. So you mentioned it a little bit earlier that Destiny 2 became team shooting in the Crucible, and it changed the dynamic of how it played between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. In Destiny 1, you could, if you were good enough, you could take down 4 guys because the game felt that it was always a 1 versus 1 match. You know, not a lot of people play team shooting unless you were in Trials of Osiris, which was, a given. But in quick play, it was always like, 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2. In Destiny 2, because the time to kill was so long and it was so tedious, that it became a team shotting effort because it was the only way you can bring down the time to kill to below 1 second. And it got used to it with Destiny. Starts changing some dynamics. It starts basically changing the way that the Crucible is working. People are not liking it. They are, complaining about it. Bungie, realizes that they made a mistake and they start fixing it, right? By this point, they decide that we're going to add pinnacle weapons into the game. They're going to add, a competitive base weapon that you can only get it to this game mode and that you have to grind to get it. Andrew grinded for it. And by grinding for it, he basically, Lee and I don't want to be mean to him because he
So
did.
don't be mean then.
Okay. Because he did put some effort. Okay, I don't want to say that he basically got dragged. Okay, but
He's gonna dump him in anyway. He's gonna be like, he told me okay, and he continued.
No, but here's the thing though. The thing about that I'm trying to get here is that Lee got the weapon that Andrew was trying to get for the longest time before him. Okay, and I remember when it dropped that I was in this party, we're playing it, and we're gonna do. You know what, Marlon? Let's go for the Claymore, and we're gonna
Andrew
get this.
was a man possessed, folks. He bought a monitor. He bought like a very low latency monitor to help him in his quest to get this weapon.
And he was so mad because he kept getting so close to the Claymore, and every single time he's like, just between 100 points of getting this thing, he just get dumped on by the Crucible and go down 300 points, 400 points, 600 points, and he just grinded all the way back again, all the way close to it again, and then he get dropped 600 points again. Lee, by this point, he's slowly creeping up on Andrew's point without any of us even noticing.
But Andrew, let me ask you, how was it that, again, not to be mean, but how was it that you ostensibly carried him, but he got it before you? Was it that you played games without him or something?
Yeah, we both play games without each other. I mean, if I was at work or something, or he was occupied or something, I don't know. We would play.
He will play by himself, and then he will get into teams where he would send me screenshots of him doing really good in the Crucible.
Lee?
Oh
yeah.
Lee, yeah, he was sending I sent like a ton of screenshots of my matches and stuff like that, where I'll have teammates who are all doing like 0.2, and I'll have like a 6-point KD, and we lose by like 1 point, and like that's the type of teams I was getting stuck with, and it kept losing, and it was driving me crazy, literally. And when I play with Lee, he's normally breaking average at one KD, and then you see him post a screenshot, and it's him doing like a 10.0.
Oh my god!
Come on, man.
Dude, me and Andrew were getting so heated by this point because he keeps sending the screenshots like in the middle of the night, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're going, wait a minute, you are playing this thing at 3 o'clock in the morning, sending this screenshot to us in the middle of the night. And when you play with us, you're just playing like crud. You're.
Where is 3 a.m. Lee? Can you get that guy on the line, please?
Like, that's the thing. So here's the thing that made really annoy me about this whole situation was the fact that, because by this point I'm getting annoyed because I know for a fact that I am not gonna get the Claymore. It is getting too late in the season. It is getting too difficult to get it because now the people who are in Fable and in Rank Legend, now they're not just going for the Claymore because they already have it. No, now they are basically gating it. They're saying, oh, no, we're going to make sure these guys don't get the weapon because we want to make sure that only us get the weapon, right?
That's something that I would do. That's something I would do. Yep,
so there was a lot of sweat teams out there that were just making sure that no one else would get this weapon, and you would see it because you would get on a 2 or 3 win streak, and then you basically get put up against some god tier competitive player, and you would just get dumped, and then will be the next 1 loss, 2 losses,
another
3
issue
losses.
with the original competitive too, man. It was skill based matchmaking. So every time I would play, let's say with Lee or anybody else, my KD and my stats are a lot higher than a lot of my friends. So they would be playing with people on my level versus when they play on their own, they're playing with people their level.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So basically,
it wasn't until the next season that they corrected it and put
more
level,
like a tier,
rank level,
as opposed to skill
matchmaking.
And here's the thing: it gets to the point where basically Lee is at 1,900 points, Andrew is at 1,600 points. Okay, it is a Sunday morning. I hop on. Lee and Andrew tells me, hey, Marlon, do you want to play some competitive? We're close to getting the Claymore. Do you want to help us out? I said, you know what? I got nothing to do this Sunday morning. I'll help you guys out. We get into a winning streak to the point where Lee is ready to get the Claymore. He has 1 win away. We get the Claymore, and Lee says, all right, we're done. And Andrew's like, wait, no. We have to continue on. I'm just missing 100 points as well by this point. We got to get this thing done now. And Lee is like...
Did he leave you? Did he really leave you? No, he wouldn't do that.
No.
He had like the worst game of his career.
Oh my God, he phoned it in. He was like, I'm just going to cruise. I got it. I'm going to do anything.
So we stop, we go to orbit, and then Lee's like, I gotta go back and get my Claymore. And me and Andrew are going, we're on a hot streak. If we continue on, we can do this. And he's like, no. Go back to the tower first. We're like, okay, fine, Lee, let's go back to the tower. I kid you not, and Andrew here, as my witness, will know this. As we're getting into the tower glitches. Okay, there's no vendors in the tower.
That's the first telltale sign right there.
And not just once, and not twice, but like 3 times the tower glitched on Lee so you couldn't get it.
And Andrew's telling him this, like, see, the game doesn't want you getting it. No, you gotta carry.
You don't deserve it.
So he gets back like 3 times into the tower. He finally, the vendors finally showed up. He gets his Claymore. He's like, look at this. I got the Claymore. And Andrew's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Come on, let's go get me the Claymore. We get into the next match. We completely get stumped, okay? We get so bad to the point where Lee goes from 2,100 points, where's the Fable rank, to 2,060. If he wouldn't have done it, because in that point, it wasn't retroactive like it is now. If you went down
you had to earn it. There was none of that.
I had to earn it back again. So he's like, I am so glad I went back to the tower. And Andrew's like, yeah, you did, you son of a gun, didn't you?
Wait, but Andrew still got, I think only less than 8,000 people got that gun, right?
I don't remember the statistics, but it was pretty low.
I know it was like a very... Well, we're gonna close down here, but before that was a good story, Marl. I do remember that one. And we've got so many. We got fire, but I don't even want to get into that. wait, Justin may want to tell that one. I don't know.
So okay, I'll tell it real quick.
Hit the with a bag.
So okay. So we're at the final checkpoint of Crota. Okay, so we're here, Crota, boom. And the strat for Crota at this time was get a Titan and pop his bubble on the right-hand side of the glass of where everyone's standing on that ledge of the glass, and then one person would be ready with the sword to smack Crota while everyone's shooting them with their hunger of Crota that is almost as powerful as the
Oh, God, Lee, give it up.
Oh, God.
No, he swore that, I think he said that it was as powerful.
The hunger of Crota was as powerful as the Gallahorn.
Smoking something, man.
Sure. Anyways, so, you had to stand on the ledge and shoot the rockets and take down Crota, and then the guy with the sword will smack him. So the idea here is that one Titan was on the far right side and pop his bubble, so all the concentrated fire from the ads from like those knights from the towers would concentrate fire on the bubble. So since Jacob was our designated Titan for popping that bubble, he was the one that was going to tell us when to fire, and he has a clear sight and vision of the guy with the sword and tell him when to go.
And just real quick, by this time we've been here for hours. We've literally been here for maybe more than 4 hours trying to get this one check, trying to beat it, and Jacob is huffing and puffing. He's pissed. Continue.
So here's how it goes. So we're at the first phase of Crota, and all of a sudden he's like, "All right, bubble popped." Next thing you know, he's like, all right, 3, 2, 1, fire!
And we all see, what do we see on the left-hand side?
You hear an explosion, but you see no damage to Crota. And we're like, what just happened? And all of a sudden, you just hear like, Guardian down. And then just like on the bottom left corner of your screen, it just says, Code Red is down. And
Codered
is down. And we're all like, what happened?
And it was so funny because Jacob was so upset because we had been there for hours. So he's like, all right, guys, we're going to get this done. This is it. This is the run. And I'm going to call it. And he screwed up.
Yeah. And so the problem was that he didn't step out far enough from the bubble to where his launcher was halfway in and halfway out of the bubble. Fire!
We got a big southern fire and we died.
I remember what
We
I remember
all
one
turned
time.
right.
Oh,
all
God.
turned right and the bubble's gone.
Here's about Crota, though. Here's about Crota. Crota was one of those raids where so much shenanigans would happen. Here's one little one for you. Remember that we were positioning ourselves behind the glass, as Justin was saying. But because of the way that the glass was made, Thrall would sometimes go behind
and they kill
the
you.
glass. And they will kill you. And I would just hear somebody, stop pushing me! Stop pushing me! Stop! And he would fall down. And I would smack him. It's like, Goose, what happened? It's like, somebody push me. Okay? Or here's the best one. Justin says, I got it. I'm going to be the sword guys. All right, guys? On my mark. 3, 2, 1. Smack. Kill. Crota will kill him. He's like, Justin, what happened? He got me. Okay. He got me.
That raid was so glitchy, dude. Sometimes you'd hit him and you'd go invis and he'd still smack you, dude. It was, oh man. Oh, and then I think there was this one time where he literally followed us to the ledge. Like all of a sudden, how many times did this SOB follow us to the ledge?
Hey, like that raid was glitchy as heck, but we cheesed the heck out of it too.
Oh my
god!
Remember the what was it? The oh my god, the
Ethernet cable.
The Ethernet
Ethernet cable. I used to jump across the bridge with a sword. Just anything to not do.
There was another one with the Dragon's Breath rocket launcher where you would do the Ethernet cable thing, and then all of a sudden the or was that the same thing, right? The Ethernet with the Dragon's Breath, or no, just Ethernet in general?
Was like, I think it eliminated all the ads from the room.
There was another one where it was like Dragon's Breath, and then like it would leave like a solar grenade left over, but it would constantly burn him, and it would just take down. He would just go down on his own every single time.
I know that there was one where the one that Andrew's talking about where he would use the swords across the bridge. I know that there was a glitch where we would like all scamper up to like the spire on the right hand side of the room to like to despawn all the ads.
Yes.
Oh my God. Dude, here's the thing about Destiny. It has so many glitchy things that can happen in the raid. So I remember at the tail end of we were doing Atheon for so long, the Volta Glass became a chore by this point. Instead of being this challenging raid, it just became, all right, so who has the checkpoint for the Gorgon chest? Looking at you, Kench. So
you guys got a checkpoint?
Yeah. So to the point where basically it was like, all right, guys, everybody up to orbit. Somebody pass to the Gorgon checkpoint, beat all these things. We'll meet up on the front of the door, okay? Everybody gets in front of the door when we're dealing with the gatekeeper, and we're like, okay, so we're gonna shoot this thing in the middle of the eye. Nobody go anywhere, and you will see Justin every single freaking time. The door opens, he just scatters away to the conflux on Mars. Like, Justin, come back. It's like, oh, my bad. And he will return back again. It's like, okay, now we can go down and shoot this guy. Like so many, like. Think about it. There were so many glitches in Taken King. The Blight's not detonating correctly.
The light's not lit. Yep, I remember that. But King's Fall is probably one of my favorite just because it's so mechanic heavy and it's about just getting everything right. And then another thing that I liked, although I wasn't a big fan of it, was Callus. I remember. Oh my God. Excuse me. I had my throat.
He had a Callus moment. Okay.
So I think it was Andrew. Andrew rarely gets mad. And I think it was fairly recent. I think it was the last time that I hopped on to play again. I think we were trying to get the platinum trophy for it.
The prestige.
And I think Andrew got upset, and because he saw me peek. He saw me like take his guy out and then take my guy out. He was like, dude, why? I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it was something along the lines of, why are you taking my guy out? You have a job. You have to trust me to do my job. I trust you to do your job. Do your job. I was like, okay, you got me. You're right. It's all about trusting the guy next to you. You got it. You're right.
Oh my God! Like think about it. When Wrath of the Machine came out.
Oh, I love that. I forgot about that raid. That was a good one.
Oh my God! I hated that raid for a very specific reason. You guys would every single time I did the raid with you guys, you always gave me the left side, and I always got killed on the left side. I remember one time where you guys were like, Marlon, why you keep dying? it's a very easy thing. You
Oh,
stick
but
behind.
yeah, Marlon, sometimes you would die though, and I've seen some of the videos on YouTube, and you would do some very not smart thing.
Dumb thing.
His
Yeah.
where's
Trust me, I
Marlon
know.
moments.
I know. Trust me, I have done so many of those moments in Destiny that just make myself up. I'm looking back and I'm like, man, I was stupid.
What were you doing, dude? But actually, we're gonna close up a bit here, but I want to turn it over to you guys because you guys have been playing Destiny, and so I got two questions. The first one is Trials back, and if not, what's going on with Trials? And then to close out,
I'll answer that real quick. I'll answer that real quick. No,
and what's going on with it? Is it coming back?
Nope.
Nobody knows.
And now the second one, for a guy like me who hasn't played Destiny in months, what's going on with the game? Is it healthy? What's fun about it? I know that you guys have jumped back again to play. I think there's a new season. What has brought you back, and what has allowed you to not only brought you back, but stay and continue to call it Destiny home?
So here's something real quick, based on the lines of something that Bungie hasn't done before, but they did. People have been cheesing the way to accomplish and gain the bad juju. Bad juju has come back, Goose. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did, yeah. So
but there's a way to cheese it. So in order to get the bad juju, you have to do all these tasks, and it's very heavily like grindy for like materials to get the bad juju. So there's a glitch. Yeah. So there's a glitch to like you can like enter the area and like exit or whatever, and you get points to get the bad juju. And if you do that, and you do it enough times, you can also get like the oh my gosh, what is that? The masterwork for it. You can get the masterwork or whatever. Yeah.
And an emote.
Yeah, and an emote for doing the bad juju. Anyways, as of last week when Souls of the Heroes dropped, Bungie is punishing those players who cheese the bad juju quest. So they actually took back the catalyst and the emblem from those players, and I don't know what they would do. Did they just black out the bad juju, or
What it does is that it allows them to. They can still use the bad juju, but they cannot use the effects of the perk of the masterwork, and cannot use the emote, and it's blacked out until they score up with Callus, until they complete all the Season of Opulence, trials and grinding things and checklists that the Callus has put up on the menagerie and on the his what is the name of the place?
My question is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My question, my question is this: for you guys who view those players, is it like a scarlet letter? Can you guys know right away, hey, this person cheesed it based on looking at their loadout?
Yeah, you're looking at Kenneth. Yes, he can't.
Nice. Nice. That's good. They should be shamed. You should shame them for being cheaters. I like that. I'm surprised Bungie took that step, but I like that. That's good.
Here's the thing.
Me and Joe just cheesed getting the mountaintop the other day, so we did that.
So wait, but does it not work? Does it not work, or is there something like that?
For the mountaintop.
No, the mountaintop. Like, do you get punished for?
No, I mean I got it. I mean I haven't gotten punished yet, so.
It's not punishment. Okay, here's the thing here's the thing so you understand. The cheese for the bad juju, it is a cheese that you can do with any character, and it's very simple. To do the cheese for the mountaintop, you need to do a couple of things need to happen. Number one, lockdown has to be on the.
It doesn't matter. My question is, what's going on with the state of Destiny 2 before we close out this show?
Yes. So Destiny 2, right now you're in really grindy Solstice of Heroes.
Yes.
It's just getting you ready for Shadowkeep. The gear that you get from the Solstice of the Heroes will, I guess, convert to the Shadowkeep gear, and it will give you like that same, like that new style. It will just introduce you. It'll give you a step ahead of everybody else who didn't grind for that gear.
Mm-hmm.
We're all grinding right now. Everybody's grinding right now. Impossible tasks, crazy tasks, fun tasks. The raid right now is fun. Crown of Sorrow. It's a smaller raid. Good raid though. And yeah, Destiny brought me back. PvP still fun. Last Word is my weapon of choice as always.
Yes, it is.
PvP.
Don't say God, because I'm gonna lose if you say that. Okay.
Okay.
Here's
I'm
the
an angel.
okay, Angel, for crying out loud. Here's one thing that I forgot to tell you guys, and I'm pretty surprised that Gustavo did not mention this because this is a nickname that I had in this clan for many years, and I'm surprised they didn't mention it. But when it came to Destiny, if there was something that you needed to know, if there was something in the lore that you did not understand, and you needed and you needed an answer that was like that was me. I was
Marlon was our. This is true. Marlon was our Destiny encyclopedia. And he's right. He was like a walking grimoire card. Anything you just ask, you'd be like, Marlon, what about this? Marlon, what about that? Marlon, this. Marlon, that. And he'd just take his time. And he, you enjoyed it. And he enjoyed it. He was like, all right, I'm going to take this guy to Destiny school.
And the fact that, so you can tell, I was the walking grimoire when it came to Destiny because I just love the lore in that game. There's so much deep lore in that game that it just gets you sucked into it. Destiny 2 for me for the first year was not like that. It was not fun for me. I'm slowly getting back into it, and Justin will be my witness in there. Ivan was asking me a couple of questions last night, and I was like, yeah, no, you're asking for that specifically. It's like, oh man, what was the name of that thing? It's Crota. Okay.
Yes.
Like, what was the name of that? And I was Anthem. Okay. You're thinking about Anthem. You're thinking about Hunger Crota. You're thinking about Black Hammer. You're thinking about.
But you did kind of lose it though back like I think towards the beginning, middle of Destiny 2. I don't know if has he regained his encyclopedic knowledge or is it as good as it was back in Destiny 1, fellas?
I'm barely played now, so everybody knows more than me at this point.
Gotcha.
Like, I mean, I'm into the lore. Like, if you were comparing this to Anthem, just to close this thing out, I would say that I'm kind of like your Anthem in that sense, where I don't know everything about the game.
Ooh, yeah, I love how he starts by playing Slick Willy.
But like, because your Anthem knows a lot about the game, like he knows it, but you wouldn't say that he knows it like, and it's a completed way where he could like comment, like talk it out.
I got a brand new nickname for Marlon. Double down, Marlon. That's a good one.
It ain't easy being cheesy, okay? So
that's all the time we got, folks.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm not trying to dump on your Anthem because he does really good content. Okay, like I want to say that his content when it comes to Anthem is top.
We love Slick Willy over here at Freelancer Radio, but Marlon and Andrew and Justin, you guys are absolutely right. That brings us to the abrupt conclusion of this show. That's all the time we have for today, folks. So let's suit up and hit.
No, not this time.
Okay, fellas, then. Guardians out.
Oh, follow.